You are listening to Peak One Sports.
Welcome to the Bungalow Sports Show. It's the first show of the year where I'm wearing a sweatshirt. Is that like a marker in the year that means it's cold outside? I don't know. Or does it mean I'm about to do a workout after this because I'm all healthy now? And I always work out in a hoodie because I like to sweat? Is that what it means? I don't know. But we're back with another Bungalow Sports Show. And fresh off the holiday weekend of Thanksgiving, 4-day weekend for, most people out there. I'm sure some of you had to work Friday and or Saturday and or Sunday, but not me and my household. We're the lucky ones. We had Thanksgiving festivities on Thursday. We had a family birthday party on Sunday. We had a niece sleeping over all 4 days. We had my son's friend Pete over having a sleepover on Saturday night. It was a full weekend here at the Rambo household. Before we talk about any of that, let's talk about this show being brought to you by Betalytics. Go to Betalytics.com. Use promo code PEAK1. Get 25% off all of their stuff. All of their just priceless. I guess it's not priceless. There's a price, and you'll get 25% off of it. But go there, and they can help you out. They can give you info to make more informed and smarter bets, give you all the analytics and the and stuff. I'm a little bit slow this morning, sorry. My brain's not firing as fast as it normally is. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I've spent all morning putting up Christmas lights. But either way, I digress. Betalytics, your boy here made some football bets this weekend, and your boy won some money, okay? Your boy bet we had obviously a weekend full of football. We had games Thursday, a game Friday, games on Sunday, and I did a little parlay. I bet the overs in the Cowboys game and the over in the Niner game. And obviously that hit, won that little parlay. And then I got a little sneaky on the website that I used to bet. Thursday night after everybody left, after my parlay hit, I had a little extra cash. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to place some little bets on the game tomorrow, on the Dolphins game. And not really wanting to predict the outcome of that game. As you guys know, I'm not, I don't do well in my football parlays. If I do a parlay, I'll usually hit all but one game. So obviously I did an overs parlay and won that. So I'm like, you know what? We're not going to do outcomes on the Dolphins game. I'm just going to do an anytime touchdown bet on a specific player. And I went to go look at the odds. And for, the big touchdown scorers from both teams, the odds were like plus, they were given plus 140 odds for like, a Raheem Mostert. And most likely would have been plus 140 for the cheetah, Tyreek Hill. But somebody made a boo-boo when typing out the odds on my betting website, and they had an anytime first half touchdown by Tyreek Hill at plus 1,400. They obviously meant to do plus 140. Obviously. plus 140 for a first half anytime touchdown by Tyreek Hill would have been, I still would have made the bet, a plus 140. You know that, dude's, that's a first half touchdown by Tyreek Hill this season is about as close to a sure thing as you get. So plus 140, still a good bet. But somebody fucked up and put an extra 0 in there. And I locked in plus 1,400 odds for Tyreek Hill to score a touchdown in the first half. And he did. I mean, granted, it was really close to the end of the first half, so he squeaked it out. But your boy won a nice little chunk of change on that one. I don't like to divulge money amounts on this podcast. That's not couth. We all have our betting limits, and we all bet what we're comfortable with and what's healthy. So I won't divulge how much money I bet or how much money I won, but let's just say, for me, it was a nice chunk of change. Because plus 1,400, that pays big, buddy. And, after it hit, you got to wait for the game to conclude before the bets pay out. So once the game was over, I went and checked, and they didn't pay me. And I'm like, what is that? What does that mean? So I went and looked at the outcomes because, if you're a member of a similar betting website, you can check all your outcomes, and they marked it as a loss with a little caveat. It said DNU. Not sure what that meant. I went and tried to Google it. Some Reddit forums of some people who had that before, and nobody knew what DNU stood for. I'm assuming it's did not something to disqualify the bet. And I'm like, no. What does that mean? Like, just because you screwed up and put plus 1,400 odds, that's not my fault. I just was at the right place at the right time and caught it. Because they did fix it shortly after I placed the bet. But I locked in those odds. So I sent a message to the website. I said, hey, what does DNU stand for? And why wasn't my bet paid out? My winning bet. Why wasn't it paid out? And I went back and checked about 30 minutes later, and before anybody even sent me a response, still haven't got a response, but guess what happened? They paid me out. So that's just a little lesson to some of you people who might use some betting websites out there, is they might try to stiff you if they fuck up. But don't let them. Don't let them do it, because they got to pay out. And, all things being equal, why wouldn't you want to pay me out? It's not like I'm cleaning you out. The amount I won was a lot for me, but not for a betting website. And if you stiff me on that, I'd have just went to a different site and never bet with you again. So of course they want to pay you out. But it's just somebody messed up, and somebody didn't want to fess up to it and give me my money. But they did in the end. So that'd be a lesson to you. If you do use websites and they do try to do that, message those bastards and make them and hold them to it. Make them pay you, and you'll have a lot more money coming to you if you go to Betalytics.com and use promo code PEAK1 to get 25% off all of the information they have there to help you make better informed bets. Don't bet with your gut. Bet with Betalytics. We're also brought to you by the Peak1 Sports Network merch store. That's at bonfire.com/store/Peak1 Sports. Go there. Get all the merch. All the shows have logo merch out there. We got Loosey Goosey, My Dirt League, Hockey Dynasty. We got merch for Loosey Goosey there. We got official playoff experts, a Sweep Daddy shirt I wear all the time. Might be my favorite shirt. We got coffee cups. We got shirts. We got tank tops. Go check everything out at bonfire.com/store/Peak1 Sports. And if you see a logo on there you like, if you see a design you like and it's not on a piece of apparel that you would like to have it on, send us a message. Go follow us on all social media. The Bungalow Sports Show on IG, Facebook, Twitter or X, Threads, TikTok. Go follow the Bungalow Sports Show, Peak One Sports Network on all social media, and drop me a line and say, hey, I want that Sweep Daddy's design. I want that on a hoodie, or I want that on a pullover, or I want that on a tank top, or I want that on a cup. Just send me a message and I'll pop it on there. It's real easy. It's just when I'm making these things, sometimes I'm like, I don't know what people are going to want. And it's like, it's a lot of extra buttons to push to, put it on everything. But yeah, anyways, bonfire.com/store/peak1sports. Go there and get what you want. Our newest sponsor, Shanked Golf. Look cool on the links, dude. Don't look like a doofus. Don't look like a nerd. Don't look like a dork. Look cool when you're out on the links. And Shanked Golf has got all the cool looking styles you need to be styling and profiling out on the links, out on the greens, in the sand traps. They've got a full line of shirts and hoodies and accessories for all your golf needs, and it's all cool shit. So if you go to shankedgolf.com and use promo code PEAK1, you can get 15% off your order. What a perfect time for a Christmas present for the golfer in your life that needs to look cooler while he's out there, And it's perfect time of year. Go buy some shit. Go to shankedgolf.com, get your Christmas presents for the golfers in your life, and use promo code PEAK1 for 15% off. Back to Thanksgiving, man. Everybody's probably tired of Thanksgiving. It's over, right? It's over. We're back to work. We're back to the real world at this point. But I had a thought during Thanksgiving, during the feast, and maybe it's just because I've taken on a little bit of I don't want to say a healthier lifestyle. I mean, it obviously is healthy. Anytime you lose weight when you're overweight, it's a healthier lifestyle, right? But it's not like I'm not like restricting my diet. I'm just eating less, right? I'm not cutting foods out necessarily. I'm just restricting the intake, the calorie intake, calories in, calories out. So nothing's off the table as far as what I'm going to eat. It's just been how much I've been eating of it, right? And I think that could do all of us some good out there. Yeah, there's some people out there who just don't like food, don't like eating, and I don't understand those people. Right? I like to eat a lot, and it's a problem. And I've been curbing that as of late, and your boy's down like 35 pounds, you know what I mean? Since my birthday, since like end of August. And this was the first time since then, because it's like the first holiday and it's Thanksgiving, so it is the eating holiday. It's literally the only reason this holiday exists anymore is to eat a giant feast, right? And I don't know if it's that I'm getting older and getting more empathetic, or if I'm getting more like just thinking more about things. And this isn't going to be a speech about how, we shouldn't do Thanksgiving because of the implications of what we did to the Native Americans and the indigenous people. Sorry, but I mean, does every country that is prospering in 2023 and on this planet, or almost every country, period, took their spot from somebody else? It is just what it is at this point in human history. All right, I'm sorry that my ancestors and our ancestors displaced the indigenous people of the Americas and made this country. I'm sorry that it had to go down that way. But that's how it went down for every country on planet Earth. The only reason the lines on the map are drawn is because somebody else went and took somebody else's shit before the lines were drawn. So if we're going to get mired in the semantics of whether we should be ashamed of how our countries were created, I'm not here for that. I mean, we can talk all day about how much of an asshole Christopher Columbus was, because that's documented proof that the guy was a real piece of shit, and the way he dealt with the indigenous people and things that he did and things like that. Obviously, it's horrible. But it's fucking ancient history, and there ain't nothing I could do about it, and there's nothing that any American do about it at this point. And it's also, I get it. There's implications that have gone on for decades and hundreds of years for the indigenous people and the way they've been treated and all this stuff. I get all that. And I'm fine if you don't want to celebrate that day. But to me, at this point in human history, all of our holidays, they've got nothing to do with the actual, like, Christmas is made up. Most of our holidays are Hallmark holidays. They're fucking made up. Right, this one just happens to mark a cultural event, and a guy, I guess, doing some bad shit. But it's like, it doesn't mean that anymore. We're not getting around our table saying thanks to the Pilgrims for landing on Plymouth Rock. No, it's just an excuse for families to get together and spend quality time with each other and make a bunch of food and have a feast and whatever. It's got nothing to do with the Pilgrims or Christopher Columbus or indigenous people or any of that shit anymore. And if it does to you, that's just you reading into it and you're keeping it alive by saying that's what it is. Thanksgiving isn't that. It's not that. And if it is that to you, that's on you. It ain't that to me. It's just a time for family that none of us probably see enough of. Or shit, maybe we see too much of. I don't know. It's a time for people to spend quality time with each other, with people to spend quality time with loved ones, and a reason for everybody to bring a fucking casserole and cook a bird and eat together and watch some fucking football. That's all Thanksgiving is. You know, like I said, I do have empathy for the, past transgressions of American settlers. I can understand systemic cultural oppression and things like that have happened over time. But again, it's got nothing to do with me or my family or pretty much anybody in my goddamn family tree. I come from a whole long line of fucking Dust Bowl Okies who were eating dirt sandwiches and had nothing and came to California, tried to prosper. Some of them did. Some of them did meth. Like, I got nothing to do with the Pilgrims. I got nothing to do with anybody. Thanksgiving is just a reason for me to see people that I'm supposed to care about and give, have a reason to be thankful for the shit we got going on in our lives and everything. But what I will tell you is I'm kind of tired of eating like an asshole. I realized that. And like I said, I don't know if it's my newfound health kick that I'm on. And I don't want it to be a kick. This is how I want my life to be from here on out, is eating a proper amount of calories, being the correct healthy weight for my body, mostly so I can perform on the ice like I want to. I really don't give a shit what I look like in the mirror anymore. It's nice to look nice for my significant other, but she's been with me at my worst. She's been with me at my best. And that's not really a thought that goes through my mind. I want to feel better. I just want to be healthy. I'm no longer nihilistic to the point of I just want to let's ride this till the wheels fall off. It's like, no, I got a kid now and I want to be alive as long as I possibly can now for him. It's 8 years into it, being a dad, and I'm finally kicking myself in the ass of like, no, you got a responsibility to raise this kid, obviously, the best way you possibly can, and turning him into a productive and honorable member of society, but also try to be around as long as you can to see his life play out and his kids' lives play out. And, my grandpa's got great grandkids. You know what I mean? Like, let's try to, it's the future. It's 2023, baby. People are living to 100 all the time. So I'm not even 40 yet. So I might not even be midlife, bitch. And before modern medicine, my people in my family are living into their 90s. So maybe I'll get to 120. Who fucking knows? But we're going to try it. But that being said, with my new mindset on kind of food and like the way I do things is like, man, I'm sitting there looking at we have a very oversized island in our kitchen, in our house. When we did our remodel, we've got like a 12-foot long island. And that bitch was full of dishes of food on Thanksgiving. And again, not to get too woke on you, but the amount of leftovers and the amount of waste that comes out of Thanksgiving these days, it kind of hurts your heart a little bit, knowing that a lot of people out there can't afford fucking a trip to the grocery store because shit's so expensive. So you got those thoughts running through your head when I'm looking at this giant kitchen island full of too much food for the 16 people that are at my house. It's an overabundance that could probably feed, 30. But also, why am I just okaying myself to just eat like a complete asshole this day, this weekend? Because it's not just Thanksgiving Day. Because like the amount of food that's left over, I feel like a dick if I'm not eating leftovers. Because then it's like, now I'm really wasting if I'm not eating these leftovers the next day and the day after. And it's like, it's 4 days. We're on the 5th day after Thanksgiving right now. And I still got leftovers in the fridge. You know what I mean? I don't even want them anymore because I've been eating that shit for 4 fucking days. So I don't know where I was going with that. I just like, anybody else feel like that at this point? I mean, it's like almost like, am I forcing myself to eat like an asshole just because it's Thanksgiving? I think that's one of those things I'm going to be giving up. It's like my whole life, that was kind of the thing. Like as a dumb kid, like, yeah, I'm going to fucking eat till I puke. But it's like as a 38-year-old man, I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what? I just eat a regular amount. You know what I mean? I just need to eat a regular amount of food. You can enjoy the fact that it's a lot of foods that you don't have throughout the rest of the year. And that's another gripe I have. Is like, it seems like everybody's hating on turkey these days. Turkey sucks. Turkey's the worst meat. Turkey this, turkey that. Fuck you. You liked it when you were a kid. And then also now it's like you eat it one day a year. You eat turkey one day a year. There's plenty of ways to cook a turkey that makes it delicious. And on top of it, even a badly cooked turkey, you pile enough stuffing and cranberry sauce and mashed potatoes on that fucking fork, and it's just like a substrate for the rest of the shit on your plate. Everybody's hating on turkey. It's like, you got it once a year. And then if you got a problem with turkey, then don't do Thanksgiving. If you ain't going to do the turkey, then just call it, everybody come over and let's just call it feast. I don't know. I'm getting in the weeds now with this rant. But Thanksgiving was good. A lot of kids running around these days as I get older. And it's, it's just a chance for all these kids to get together and see the family unit coming together for a day to shove our faces. And yeah, you know what I mean? I'd like to think that everybody around the table looks at all that food and all that shit and all the people and the success the people in our family have had of being happy and healthy and content with life, and they're thankful for that. But I don't know if that's the case. But anyways, that's my Thanksgiving talk, all right? That's it. Happy Thanksgiving. All right. Weekly update on the Sharks. Guess what? They still suck. But maybe they suck a little less because they beat arguably the second best team in the NHL, or at least top 3, the Vancouver Canucks. They smoked them. I mean, they didn't smoke them, but they beat them. They beat them fair and goddamn square, they did. And, 5 games in 8 days. They're on a run right now, so they got a lot of hockey. They got a game coming up tonight, if you're watching this on Monday, against the Washington Capitals, who are struggling this season. So hopefully it'll be a little more competitive than the last time they played the Capitals, because the Sharks seem like they're they're feeling it a little bit right now. So hopefully they can keep it up. And like I said, they beat one of the top teams in the NHL on Saturday night, and I'm a happy camper. I'm not an angry Sharks fan anymore. I'm happy with where they are. I just want them to. I want them to be successful and win some games and do their thing. But also, I want them in. They got to be in the sweepstakes, that Celebrini sweepstakes, for that number 1 pick. So, Sharks suck, just not as much. For other hockey talk, tune into the Bungalow Hockey Show tomorrow every Tuesday on the Peak One Sports Network. All right, it's time. It's time. Week 12 in the NFL. Big week, Thanksgiving week. A lot of games on a lot of days. A lot of football to watch. Like I said, your boy made some bets and actually won. It's a Thanksgiving miracle, baby. We're going to start with those Thanksgiving Day games. Thursday, November 23rd, the beginning of Week 12, we kicked the morning off with Green Bay versus Detroit, and Green Bay Packers somehow are staying in the mix, and they beat. I went on a little who would have thunk it rant last week about the Detroit Lions being the number 1 team going into their annual Thanksgiving Day game, but guess what? They shit the bed and they lost, kind of like they usually do on Thanksgiving. So they did not disappoint. They made it seem like Thanksgiving of old. You had a Detroit Lions loss to the Green Bay Packers 29-28. I don't think Lions fans need to panic. I think they're a great team this season. I think they're going to keep it up. I just think they're just having some off games. But nevertheless, they're Thanksgiving losers. In one of my bets in my overs parlay, the Dallas Cowboys trounce the Washington Commies 45-10. And thank you there. And in my nighttime winning overs bet, the San Francisco 49ers destroy the Seattle Seahawks 31-13. And I guess we all kind of saw that coming. The Niners got a tough one against the Eagles coming up, I believe, this week. So that's going to be a real telling match with, how things are going to go playoff-wise and just two of the arguably the two best teams in the NFL going at it before the season's up. And then Friday, in the Friday game, that was our Amazon Prime game, which is usually Thursday Night Football, but because we had our Thursday Thanksgiving games, they moved that to Black Friday. And this was the infamous Tyreek Hill plus 1,400 for an anytime first half touchdown, and your boy hit that. And the Miami Dolphins obviously hit a big win, 34-13 over the New York Jets. The Jets finally benched Zach Wilson. And who knows what his future holds? Who knows what Robert Saleh's future holds? Who knows what Nathaniel Hackett's future? Who knows what anything with the Jets right now? I mean, they're at that point in the season where they might as well just not win anymore so they can get a good draft pick. But, and I don't think they have any say in the matter. They probably won't win anymore. But they just, and how much of this, I've been thinking a lot on this, is like, the Jets obviously have a great defense. They've got offensive pieces, but, bad quarterback in Zach Wilson. And after Aaron Rodgers, tore his Achilles in the first game and all that, how much of this Jets just bed shitting can we blame on Aaron Rodgers, even with him not being on the field, because of his constant talk of returning? Maybe kept the Jets from picking up a better quarterback than Zach Wilson to continue this season and possibly have success. Because like I said, obviously their defense is lights out. But it's hard to keep your defense at that level when the offense gives them no support. and then you've got offensive pieces but no quarterback that's worth it. Maybe if they went out and picked up another quarterback that was better than Zach Wilson earlier in the season, they'd be in a different position, but they didn't do that. Maybe because of this Aaron Rodgers talk of him coming back and saving the day if the Jets could make the playoffs. So the Jets are in constant turmoil, and this season is no different. Moving on to yesterday's game, Sunday matchups. The Atlanta Falcons take down the New Orleans Saints 24-15, had them in a parlay. That one hit. We'll get on to other results from that parlay. But the Falcons looking good in that division there, man. I know they're not, lighting anybody's hair on fire, but they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot come the end of the season, most likely. The Pittsburgh Steelers take down the Cincinnati Bengals, who season's over. Obviously Joe Burrow is out for the rest of the season, and when he's gone, that team is just not a contender, and they showed that by losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers 16-10. Carolina Panthers lose once again, keep that number one pick in their grasp, 17-10 to the Tennessee Titans, and with that, their coach, Frank Reich, within 11 games, has been fired. He joins the club of coaches fired before their first full season as the team's head coach. That's just a pathetic situation going on there, and we'll see how things pan out for that team in the offseason, who they're going to bring in and see if they can make something out of that first-round pick from last year, but it looks like they're getting another one. The Indianapolis Colts take down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27-20, and the Colts just keep hanging on, man. They just keep themselves in contention, and they just keep getting out these victories, and we'll see what the future holds for them. The New York Giants and Tommy DeVito are now 3 in a row. Tommy DeVito is 3-0, and or maybe did he lose a game before he won the first game? Anyways, here you go. Now his family has really taken the limelight as like the most Italian family of all time. But they take down the lowly Patriots 10-7 in a real barn burner there. The Jacksonville Jaguars win a 24-21 just back and forth battle on a last second doink field goal that was split in the uprights and it was a few inches from sending that game to overtime, and that was the game that busted my parlay. All my other games hit in that parlay except for that Houston. I had Houston in it, and that field goal really made me that missed field goal, I should say, really made me sad. And then probably the story of the last few weeks is the Denver Broncos. They win again 29-12 over the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland has just got riddled with injuries. If losing the touch my pee guy, they lost him a couple weeks ago, and now they've lost another quarterback. They've lost some defensive pieces. Myles Garrett is hurt. But the Denver Broncos have really turned it around, and now if they can just keep winning, and they can end up with a winning record if they win out, and they can make the playoffs. And Sean Payton will have turned this shit situation around completely. Russell Wilson actually looks like he's back in it, like he wants to be there. The teammates are jiving, they're making connections, and that team is kind of on fire right now. My Rams down the Arizona Cardinals 37-14. Kyler Murray shows us, hey, I'm kind of fun to watch, but hey, this team sucks. And they lose to the Rams. The Rams, they got Matt Stafford back. Obviously, that is an issue for them if they don't have him on the field, because then you got Brent Rippon, and he's not winning you football games. But the Rams, and Sean McVay's a great coach, and people like to write him off when the Rams aren't doing well, but it's also like, what do you can only work with what you got, and when your starting quarterback ain't on the field, what are you going to do? And when Matt Stafford's there, they win quite a bit, and they won again, and kind of if they can win most of the rest of the games of the season, they can squeak into a playoff spot still. Kansas City Chiefs overcame a very bad first half. I mean, really a first 3 or 4 series they had, they just couldn't do anything, and then they turned it on. They beat the Raiders 31-17. But let's be honest, dude. Antonio Pierce has that Raiders team looking different. It's just been the story of the Raiders forever, man. It's like once they fire a coach, the guy who comes in finishes the season out strong, and then they don't keep that guy. They get someone else, and then that guy comes in, and it's a shit show until they fire that guy, and then the guy replacement comes in and finishes the season out strong. We've seen this story a million times with the Raiders. Is every time they fired a coach, it seems like the guy who comes in to replace the rest of the season finishes strong, but then they rarely ever give that guy a shot the next season. It's kind of weird. So hopefully they let Antonio Pierce stick around and be the coach of the Raiders next year. In an OT thriller, the Philadelphia Eagles defeat the Buffalo Bills 37-34 in overtime. Josh Allen had a great game. It wasn't his fault they lost this game. If you think it was, you weren't watching the game. The guy had like over 400 yards. He played like Josh Allen can play. And the Eagles just seem like they're either world beaters or they just struggle but find a way to win. And they found a way to win, but, they've got a gauntlet. They've got a gauntlet left. They've got the Niners, the Cowboys. They've got rough teams on their schedule, like some of the best in the league coming up. So, I mean, if they get through this gauntlet, I mean, the Super Bowl is the goal because nobody's beating the Eagles right now. And then last night, Baltimore defeats the Chargers 20-10, and the Chargers are just the Chargers, and the Chargers need to redo. They just need to redo everything, in this podcaster's opinion. We talked about Brandon Staley and his addressing of the media last week after their loss, and just you don't have to ask that question anymore. I trust this team. I trust my play calling. And it's like, why? You guys suck. You guys lose. You guys can't win. Why would you trust anything? Brandon Staley needs to be fired. I don't know why he hasn't been fired yet. It's not like you're holding him in there because this team can squeak out a playoff. This team ain't making the playoffs. This team is not winning. This team needs a rebuild. At least coaching-wise, it's weird to say they need a rebuild with some of the names they have on their roster, but it ain't working. Whatever it is, it's not working in Charger land, and I think that starts with the head coach. I mean, does anybody even like that guy? I mean, even like he doesn't seem like a very likable guy, even when he's in a good mood, Brandon Staley. So, but anyways. That's week 12 in the NFL. That's a show. No, this is mostly football. You know what I mean? Thanksgiving talk, football talk. That's good enough, right? That's good enough for a podcast. That's good enough for the Bungalow babies out there for this week. We didn't have a lot of sports going on except for football. So there you go. For the shout out this week, I'm going to bring it back around to the holidays. Not necessarily just Thanksgiving, but just it's holiday season, you know what I mean? It's family get-together season. And as a person who's had a tumultuous relationship with his family over the years, I'm getting to a point in my life to where I'm starting to see what it takes. Being a father now, like, I see everything through the eyes of how is this going to affect my son? You know what I mean? And as I get older, like, I used to have this big time, oh, fuck them. Like, if they don't want to do this, if they don't want to do that, if they don't like what I'm doing, then fuck them. We don't need to talk to them. We don't need it. shout out to all the families and family members out there who are just keeping it civil, keeping it together for the kids, right? Your kids, your grandkids, the children at the get-togethers, the children that, only see these cousins or these people once or twice a year at these holiday festivities. They don't have any context. They don't know why Uncle Martha and Uncle Martha. It is 2023, Uncle Martha. They don't know why Aunt Martha and Uncle Joe fucking hate each other. They don't know why. They don't have context. They don't care. They're not in your head. They don't know. They don't have the pretense and the backstory to why this family member, like, they have a weird relationship and this and that and the other things. They just know they only get to see their cousins this many times a year. They only get to see these people this many times a year. So shout out to all you people out there who don't bring that shit to the get together. You don't bring your baggage to the table, and you let the kids be kids, and you let them hang out, and you don't fill their heads full of fucking he said, she said, he did this, he did that, you blah 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 blah. Just let these kids do it, man. Let these kids hang together, have fun. See, like I said, it's once, maybe twice a year you're getting together with all these people. Suck it up. Be an adult. Suck it up. That's what it's all about. And that's what I'm figuring out in my old age sometimes you just got to suck it the fuck up for the kids. Like, what does it matter? You know what I mean? What happened what happened 20 years ago, 10 years ago between you and your brother, sister, aunt, uncle, cousin? You guys got kids now, and they're just trying to have a good time together and learn what it is to be a family and all this stuff. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. Has been a weird fucking show. I must be in a weird headspace. All I'm saying is shout out to everybody who's sucking it up for the kids. I got people in my life, in my family, that, maybe we're not going out and getting beers together on the weekend, but for one day a year, a couple days a year, so our kids can get together and have a good time, we don't have to fucking fight about it. We don't have to be weird. Just suck it up. Let's just talk about the football game. Let's talk about this week's episode of Bungalow Sports Show and how the host is charismatic and likable. There's plenty of other fluff you can talk about with the people that you might not be getting along with, just so your kids can have a good fucking time and have the same Thanksgiving and have the same Christmas and have the same feeling you had when you were a kid, when you didn't give a shit about what the adults were talking about or doing. I just feel like we're in a time now where everybody just feels the need to air their grievances all the time at any given moment. Just because we disagree or don't get along on this one certain subject means that every time we see each other, we got to argue about it or fight about it. That's not how it should be, because it doesn't fucking matter. You're not changing each other's minds. Your minds are already made up. We're all old. Our minds are fucking made up. You're not teaching these old dogs new tricks. So let's flip the script and teach our kids, let's be civil. Let's just have a good time. This holiday season, that's what it's for. It's for having a good time and being thankful for what we got. And if you've got the means and the money and the time and the everything it takes to have a Thanksgiving feast and have 20 people at your house to enjoy a day of football and turkey, then we all got a lot to be thankful for. So suck it the fuck up and let your kids have a good time. So shout out to you if you did that this Thanksgiving vacation. And that's been the Bungalow Sports Show. I guess we could just call it the Bungalow Thanksgiving Show. But anyways, we'll talk to you next week. And until then, enjoy your sports.